Hello!
Hi, Internet! I don't know why I did that.
Welcome to another episode of Ash and Des Remember. My name is Ash Price, and I am, as always, joined accompanied...
Do you want to throw another one in there?
No, it's fine.
No, okay. I'm Des, as everybody should know by now. If you have been listening to us for a while, you should recognize our voices.
If you're new,
welcome.
welcome.
What took you so long?
Yeah.
Yeah. We were going for a bit.
So, Des, this is a little bit of an obscure one, and I don't think it's one that you are going to be that familiar with, so we may have to do a little bit of digging on it.
Okay, all right.
Des, do you remember Ghostbusters?
Oh god, now that one does ring a bell.
Yeah,
that one.
It was kind of popular. It had a monkey, I think, and it was like a short-lived live action thing. It was a 70s thing though, so we don't usually discuss 70s stuff on here.
I hate you so much for bringing up the Filmation Ghostbusters. You son of a bitch. Yes, for anybody that doesn't know me, I am a slight bit of a ghost head. I think that's fair to say. I mean, Ghostbusters has been a huge chunk of my life. I mean, it helped me start a franchise, helped me raise some good funds for charity, helped me find a wife.
So some good stuff came out of it.
Yeah, and some bad.
Yeah.
I'll let you decide which one is which.
The Ghostbusters for me.
Yep.
I think like a lot of people, my introduction initially was the real Ghostbusters cartoon, which we will discuss in a moment. But that got me, I think, watching the movie. And that's like, we should probably start with the movie. I remember being a huge fan of the movie, the first one, but we used to get it hire it out at lunchtime. When I went home for lunch.
You told this story. I love this story.
I used to hire it out when I went home for lunch. I always used to watch it, but because we only had an hour for lunch, it would finish at a point. And for like my entire childhood, I thought the movie ended when they caught Slimer.
Which is actually a good dropping off point for that franchise. They start up Ghostbusters, they bust a ghost, credits.
Yeah,
you don't need the stuff with Gozer and the temple and all that stuff. That's just the icing on a satisfying cake meal. That sentence.
That is the marshmallow on the peck.
Oh, I saw what you did there. I can't believe I did not make a Stay Puft reference. Shame on me.
So
Gozer, damn it.
So Ghostbusters.
Yes.
What was your earliest interaction or introduction to the world of Ghostbusters? The movie specifically.
I remember renting it as well. But funny enough, that's not the most distinct memory I have of the first film. My distinct memory of the first film was after I had seen Ghostbusters 2. Because I had gotten into the cartoon series, then Ghostbusters 2 came out, and then I remember this so vividly that they were showing Ghostbusters on TV one night, on ITV, and I recorded it on a VHS tape, legally, mind you. I didn't.
Yeah, there's a question around that, isn't it? You wouldn't download a car.
Yeah, but you could easily record something in the 90s through a VHS.
I know, and it's perfectly fine for you to do that.
Of course,
it was legal. There was lots of challenges to it, but it's like, you can't.
There was a lot of challenges to that. Mostly for anybody that remembers recording on VHS, you had to either have a really long tape, or you had to pinpoint pause it in the ad breaks, so you don't get the adverts.
Yeah, because most VHS cassettes were 3 hours, so you would usually be okay. You could stretch them to 4, and then you get extended ones where basically it changed the playback speed so it could record double.
Yeah, that was actually the VHS player. You didn't need a special VHS tape for that. It essentially slowed down the recording.
Yeah,
so that you could play it on I think it was long speed or short speed. Yeah, something along those lines.
Something like that. I think long play and short play.
That was it. So it was SP or LP.
Anyway,
so the VHS that I had...
When we do a look back on VHS,
we'll really delve into this. So the VHS I had, I recorded Ghostbusters at the beginning, and then there was enough tape on it that I managed to record the 90s live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So they were both on the same tape.
Wow. That's quite impressive, actually. Yeah. And also a good combination of films.
It is. So every time I remember watching Ghostbusters, I always used to watch it from... they would enter 55 Central Park West to go battle Gozer, watch that, and then they would go into Turtles.
Cowabunga.
Exactly, yes. It was the beginning of the crossover that eventually happened in the IDW comic book series.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
There's been some great overlaps in those series. Like there's Batman and Turtles, but again, another episode.
Another episode.
So for me, Ghostbusters, the first movie scared me a little bit. And
yeah, as well it should. It is a film about ghosts.
Yeah, so. Although now I'm an adult, I wouldn't consider it a horror film.
No.
I think it's a very difficult film to actually pigeonhole because it's not a comedy. I would not like people like, oh, it's got these comedy actors and it's written by comedy people. It's not funny. Like it's not. It's got some moments.
I think it's got like comedic moments, but it's not like set up punchline.
No,
it's not those type of jokes. It's
whereas Ghostbusters 16 was a comedy.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely, it was a comedy.
I'm glad you told me.
Yeah.
That's going to annoy so many people. Oh boy. But that's another thing that we're going to have to talk about.
I think we should do an episode on just kind of relaunches or reboots of childhood stuff would be quite a good one to do.
Yeah, that's going to be like a 4 or 5 part series.
Yeah,
and then as soon as it's done, we'll go back to episode 1 and redo everything all over again.
We're going to upset so many people. Because I actually I didn't like 16, but I don't have the same concerns with that a lot of the internet dwellers did.
We can't let the trolls win all the time.
No, we can't.
It's hard to pigeonhole the original Ghostbusters because it's got elements of sci-fi, it's got the elements of a going into business story, it's got elements of comedy and
going
horror.
Into business. He's like today in business studies class, we're going to watch movies about starting a business. Here's Ghostbusters.
Yeah, you've got Ghostbusters. You've got The Secret of My Success. You know, those stories of like the rags to riches story. Yeah. You've got those. They were very popular in the 80s. And New York was going through this whole gentrification thing in the 80s. So, you know, this film helped turn around what people's thoughts and opinions of New York is and was, and how, if you look at things now, New York really hasn't changed that much.
No. What did you think of... Because Ghostbusters 2 is often seen... Even by people who weren't a huge fan of 2016, they still would rate that higher than Ghostbusters 2 in a lot of cases.
No.
For me, personally, Ghostbusters 2 is my favourite Ghostbusters movie.
Same here.
And I think there are a number of reasons for that. First, I think it was the first time I really was excited about a movie.
Same here.
Because I was into the Ghostbusters mythos so much. And also, I remember going to Burger King, and they had their version of the Happy Meal, and it was to tie in with Ghostbusters 2. And one of the things you got in it was this little can with the Ghostbusters logo on it. And apparently there was a ghost trapped inside.
Oh, the ghost in a can.
And in the advert, it shows a kid opening the can, and then they cut to the scene of the Scoleri brothers bursting out.
Yeah.
And because I hadn't seen the movie at that stage, I assumed that's what was going to come out of the can. So I'm kind of... I get it. And I'm in the back garden at my grandparents' house. And my mum's there. She's taking me up to the very, very end of the garden, right way at the back. And I'm at arm's reach, and I get the pin, the ring pull of the ghost grenade.
Yeah.
And I open it up, and I drop the can, and I run.
You do know those cans are like worth a small fortune now if you could get one unopened.
Hey, this is the kid
because that's the condensed air from 1988.
You're talking to the kid who in the late 1980s threw his entire Star Wars collection in the skip because he didn't enjoy it anymore. So I have childhood issues.
For those of you that can't see this, we're recording this in a box because Ash thought
they actually can't see the box.
They can't see the box. No, that's fair enough. The things that I remember from the build-up of Ghostbusters and the build-up to Ghostbusters 2 was that I remember getting the horrible tasting real Ghostbuster sweets that they used to sell. Do you remember them?
No.
They had like weird chocolate bars, which was like the weird knockoff chocolate you get like in chocolate coins. It was that type of chocolate.
I quite like that chocolate. It's awful, but nice.
That chocolate is nice, but they filled it with like this weird multicolored gloop that tasted so funky weird. And remember, this is the 1980s when controlling what people put into things is not as stringent as it is now.
I do remember that.
Do you remember that?
I think I do remember that.
And they also had like the gels which was like a little see-through stamp of like a ghost, but they would just used to put jelly in it. Do you remember that?
I think I do.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of stuff like that. Like sweets and stuff to tie in with movies. The marketing side for Ghostbusters 2 was just it was aimed at kids, and I think
Of course it was, but I remember having things that so I remember getting boxes. Oh god, this is gonna sound so bad. I remember screaming at my parents to buy boxes of shredded wheat because it had images of Ghostbusters 2 and it had like this gorgeous. I remember so vividly that it had like the new No Ghost logo, you know, with the two and all that, and on the back they had like these gorgeous artwork from scenes in the film. So you had one of like the courtroom, but the one I remember the most is when Ray is dangling over the river of slime.
that is my first memory of a Ghostbusters game.
Oh god, you didn't get that game, did
I
you?
did. I think it was on the Commodore, because I was a Commodore kid originally.
Yeah.
And I just remember that scene and playing it over and over again of just Ray dangling down. You couldn't hit the sides, and you couldn't.
You had
hit
to go down, scoop up the slime, and then go back up again.
I never got to the slime. I always died before I got to the slime.
How did you die before you... Oh, right. Okay, I'm thinking of a different game then.
Right.
Because there is like a certain game where you are a Ghostbuster, and then in between missions, you have to go down and collect ghosts, and you have to experiment with it to see what music reacts with it.
No, I think this was just literally just going down the tube, and that was it.
I also remember, I don't know if you remember this, Five Alive? Do you remember Five Alive?
Yes, I do. Isn't that High Juice or something like that? The American version was
something like that. Yeah, Five Alive was essentially the whole marketing thing was that it had 5 whole bits of fruit in a carton or a can or whatever,
along with the sugar and the
exactly.
water.
Yeah. The closest that it got to, I think, with the fruit being on the label, that's as close as it got to the actual fruit. But they also have like these absolutely gorgeous lenticular.
Oh,
kind of like
the ones that go on your bike.
Kind of like that, you know, like your the Starbug that you have.
Yeah.
That kind of like mirrored image, but if you turn it a certain way, you can see like a.
They
had that each of them for Ghostbusters too, and I really wish I could find them because I have so many memories of getting those juice drinks and friggin' hating the taste of them just because I wanted this mirrored image.
You know, I was in a shop the other day. I can't remember which one it was.
You were in a shop?
And I almost bought a packet of Monster Munch, because obviously Monster Munch is great. But I almost bought it because there's a Stay Puft on the cover.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Walkers is now doing a cross promotion with Ghostbusters Afterlife. And for those of you in the future, this is in the before time before we have seen Ghostbusters Afterlife. And I'm going to give one reaction now. Oh my god, what an amazing emotional roller coaster. And I'm not going to give any bad reaction for it because I know this film's going to be friggin' awesome.
I mean, but also what you said could cover both.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, I remember there was lots of stuff that tied into it. And also, I just found Ghostbusters 2 much more fun.
Oh, it's so much more fun because they're tying into the audience that they already have, which is us kids from growing up with the real Ghostbusters. That's why they very rarely smoke on screen.
Yeah.
That's why Annie Potts now looks more like Janine from the cartoon series. I love the design of Ecto One A.
Yeah.
Ecto One A is one of my favorite iterations of Ecto One because it's got like that strip that hazard stripping along the side. It's got that big tank on the back. It's extremely top heavy, which means that every time you watch that montage,
it swings
around the corner wildly all over the place.
That was my favorite toy actually as a kid, the Ecto One toy.
I hate you that you had an Ecto One. I never got an Ecto One.
I had. Looking back, I had quite a few Ghostbusters toys. I think a lot of them were probably like secondhand stuff that my parents kind of picked up, but that doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
And because I remember having my nan used to work in a nightclub as a cleaner.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that. Yeah. Such a sarcastic. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's like 60-year-old gran. Was she a go-go dancer? No, she was a cleaner.
Okay, your mind went in a
in between the go-go dancing.
Yeah, fair.
And
stay on point, man. Stay on point. Right, so your granny was a cleaner. Right?
And some mornings I'd go in with her to the nightclub, and I had the Neutrono wand that had the projector built into it.
Oh, yes.
So I would run around this nightclub busting ghosts, because it was always dark as well. Even with the lights on, it's kind of dark.
That's the perfect place to do that.
And I was just running around zapping ghosts on the wall. Then the only other things I remember about that place was there was a storeroom with what must have been a fake sarcophagus, and I was once sick in the toilets. That's what I remember. So that now, whenever I think about Ghostbusters and I think about the Ghostbusters toys, I always come to that projector, and then I always come to the whole sick and sarcophagi.
That should be the name of your autobiography.
Sick and
sarcophagi, the Ash Price story. I don't really have those type of memories. I did tell this in my one-man Ghostbusters tribute show, Still Ready to Believe You, which I'm in the middle of revamping, because obviously this franchise, much like the Ghosts, it will never die.
I still have the poster samples for that, so if you need an updated poster at any time, just let me know.
Right you do. So I'm in the middle of doing that, and one of the parts I brought up was when my parents, for my 4th or 5th birthday, got me a slime blower.
Oh,
they got me the slime blower, and I think we spoke about that in one of the previous episodes.
Yeah,
and we brought up a photo of it because you'd never seen one before, and then you saw the pink phallus that was the pink slime. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. I don't know if this was an episode of Ash and Des. I think it may have been when we did the unboxing of the Ghost Popper.
Oh God, it was. Yes, check out the Ghost Popper.
Yeah, which those of you watching the video version of this, you can probably just see the Ghost Popper. It's just behind us.
And for those of you that can't see, go onto Google and type in "real Ghostbusters Ghost Popper." They are. This is how much this franchise is alive and kicking. Is that we are here in 2021, and they are remodeling and remaking toys from 1986.
So today, actually, a package came from the States because
You didn't.
The real Ghostbusters toys got re-released, and I had got Peter, I got Winston, I had got Ray, but for some reason Egon was super hard to find in the UK after he sold out.
Well, you got him.
But easy to find in America, and my in-laws are American, so I just ordered it off. It took a while to come, but I do have now the complete real Ghostbusters.
You have the team.
I have the team, yeah.
Which means that all you need to get now is Ecto One.
They have just re-released
They've
as well.
re-released Ecto One. They have re-released the Ghost Popper. They've released the Fearsome Flush Ghost and the eye-popping Ghost.
When are they releasing the Granny Ghost? That's what I want to know.
No, what I want to know is that when are they releasing the weird vampire that was clearly taken from another franchise?
Do you remember the thing with real Ghostbusters is the ghosts they caught were never really ghosts. They were more just like demonic figures and creatures rather than actual spirits.
I mean, apart from like certain vehicles like the Ecto One, which you always got. I always got Ecto 2, which was the helicopter. I loved that helicopter.
Oh, God, yeah.
They also had one which was like a grasshopper that was in a Vauxhall Beetle.
Oh,
God, you remember that?
yes.
There you go. Yeah, you remember that.
I do.
Essentially, they had vampires, they had werewolves, they had demonic grannies, and the police officer. Do you remember the police officer?
Oh, God,
he used to lift his head up and his body would drop down to reveal a skeleton.
Yes.
Yeah, you had those type of things. They had so many brilliant ideas, but the one thing that they always did more than anything is that they re-released the figures. So you had like the glow-in-the-dark versions. You had
the scare ones where Egon's tie would pop up and his eyes would burst out.
You also had the one which I got the most, which was, and I never understood this as a kid, obviously, was that they had the ones where if you got them wet, it would react and make them look like they were slimed.
Oh, wow.
But every time they got slimed, I was like, oh no, it's dirty. I'll just run onto some water to try and get rid of it. So the slime never went away from me. Yeah, I was a stupid kid then, and I'm a stupid man now. Oh, no. But more than anything, I love the creativity of the franchise. Again, hell, this is a series from 1986, and they're re-releasing it now. Yeah. Why? Because the kids of the day
have got money.
Are the adults of now who have no money for rent or houses or anything, but dear God, we will buy a re-released Ecto One if we can.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. It's like, what am I doing this week? Is it food or
Ecto One?
Ecto One. It's like I'm on a diet. I can do without food for the week. It's okay.
How much is a pot noodle these days? 50p?
Yeah.
I can stretch that.
Oh God, no. Inflation does. Pot noodles are about £1.09.
Oh God, no, I can't afford that.
No, it's a bit of a stretch. You could go for like an Aldi own brand noodle pot.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. You guys, it's a balancing
but
game.
you still have your Ecto One.
You still have your Ecto One. It's only a week. Yeah. You can survive a week without food.
Let me ask you two questions.
Yes.
2 quick questions. Okay. First of all, as we were talking about, they're re-releasing the Ghostbusters toy line. Number one, what would you want them to release next?
The Proton Pack.
You really want the Proton Pack?
I want the Proton Pack, but I want it in an adult size.
Why don't you just get an adult Proton Pack?
Because that Proton Pack is part of my childhood, and I want the nostalgia feels. I don't have a nostalgia feels for a proper Proton Pack. It would be cool to have one, but I wouldn't put it on and go, oh, I remember standing in my grandparents' kitchen putting this on for the first time.
I don't need a Proton Pack because I have the slime blower. And if I wanted to imagine me wearing a Proton Pack, you just have to give me a backpack and a pair of curling tongs. Because that's what I had. If I didn't have a Proton Pack, I remember having Ghostbusters 2 on VHS, which I recorded off the telly. And I used to have my school backpack on, and I used my sister's curling tongs as the Neutronon wand, mostly because they had the plug coming out of the back of it. And so if I tuck that in, it looked like the cable from the Proton Pack.
We should do that, shouldn't we? Like for Halloween. Halloween costumes this year have to be the types of costumes you wore as a kid.
Oh God, no, man! I spent a small fortune on an actual Proton Pack. I'm not going to run around with my work backpack on with my wife's curling tongs going, I'm a Ghostbuster when I was 4. Yeah, nobody would get it.
So what's the other question?
The other question is, this is 2021. We are in October. We are only a couple of weeks away from Ghostbusters Afterlife. What are your thoughts about the third installment? And I know 2016 is a part of the Ghostbusters franchise.
But this is in the actual original
It's a separate universe thing. You know, it's like the Ghostbusters What If.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So what are your thoughts about Ghostbusters Afterlife?
I'm cautiously hopeful and optimistic. The trailers look interesting. They look good. They look fun. I'm kind of excited to see it. It's a movie we didn't need, really. The franchise is enough to the franchise. The games are great. The actual video game itself is basically Ghostbusters 3.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not going to have Harold Ramis. We're not going to see all the original Ghostbusters back lined up in character again properly. But I am excited to see it, and it's more for the nostalgic factor of seeing those people again in that world again.
Yep.
I don't know if I'll go to the cinema to see it because I'm still a little bit wobbly with the whole COVID thing, but yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm very excited for it, and I can't wait to see it in some capacity. I've got a VHS. Might tape it off the TV.
Oh God, a film from 2021 on a VHS from 1997. Oh, the graininess. Oh, it'd be awful.
We should add graininess for these episodes when they go on YouTube, just to for a proper VHS look of the 1990s.
If at one point could you put in like a tracking bar and have us skip up and down so it makes it look like the TV's trying to keep up with it.
So what are your thoughts on it?
I think that it's going to be really good because first and foremost, I'm a fan of Jason Reitman's work because obviously he did the films like Juno, which is a good movie, but he also did a film called Thank You for Smoking.
Okay, I've not seen it. But
you haven't seen it? Check that out. These are brilliant movies. He's a brilliant filmmaker in its own right, but he is a through and through Ghostbusters fan. Yeah. And the fact that he brought his dad on board to help him with shots, which is like keeping it in-house, as it were. You know, I think it's going to be... I think it's going to be good.
That's the thing about this. It feels a lot more like it's been done in-house by the Ghostbusters team, whereas 2016 felt very much like it had been passed out to someone else.
It kind of did.
Yeah.
But we're going to save all this for another episode. But we're here. We've spoken about Ghostbusters in the why am I going with this? Give me a second. In the Halloween month. Yeah. I think everybody at least once a year around about Halloween should dig out Ghostbusters and then follow it up with Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was a lot of good things in Ghostbusters 2 that many people tend to forget about.
I love Ghostbusters 2. It is my favorite film in the Ghostbusters franchise. Even with the game, with all the other media and merchandise and all that, we haven't really touched the games at all. Yeah. That's other things. We could do another episode on looking at the games and the cartoon series. Yep. This is really kind of an introduction to Ghostbusters to chat. Yeah, I think Ghostbusters 2 might be my favourite thing in the Ghostbusters franchise.
Oh. Bold statement.
It is.
You are going to get many Ghostbuster fans atting you.
Bring it.
Wow.
Bring it.
They're either going to attack you with proton streams or they're going to soak you with positively charged ectoplasmic residue.
There are two things you should never cross. That is nerds and the streams.
You could have thrown Ash Price in there as well. I mean, you shouldn't cross Ash Price. But no, nerds and streams. Yeah. Yeah, which is why any nerd can't go near a riverbed.
No, exactly. It's just, it cancels each other out. We divide by zero. The universe goes whoosh. Absolute madness. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
Are you talking about total protonic reversal?
I am.
Yeah, you dork.
Thank you for watching and listening to that episode of Ash and Des Remember. We hope you have a great Halloween. We will talk in future again on the wider Ghostbusters franchise of cartoons and the games, which we didn't have a chance to talk about here. Is mainly our memories of Ghostbusters growing up.
And if you do have memories of Ghostbusters, please let us know, like, your favorite scene, who your favorite character is. Is Ghostbusters 2 your favorite of the franchise? Is it Ghostbusters 1? Is it the video game? Is it the 2016 Answer the Call movie? What are your thoughts on Ghostbusters Afterlife? Let us know. We'd love to hear things from people who enjoy these episodes.
I've been Ash Price.
I've been Des O'Gorman.
And next week, Hell as Pets. Weird.
This is weird because you are doing the thought thing to a camera, but on the podcast, it's just going to come across like a big pause.
Keep it geeky.
Boston makes us feel good. That's so bad. No, keep it geeky. Let's just keep it geeky. Keep it geeky. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.